In this video, I'm going to tell you 3 stories about some pretty crazy robberies that made history. They impress with their skills and sophistication. Get ready to watch because the numbers are just crazy. The biggest collection vehicle robbery heist in the United States took place on September 12, 1997. 6 people, led by Alan Pace III, robbed an armored car transporting funds from Dunbar, located on Mateo Street in the downtown area of Los Angeles, California. The robbers took almost $19 billion, which is equivalent to $35 million at the moment. While Alan Pace III developed this crime, he held the position of Regional Security Inspector at Dunbar. There were 5 other members in his gang, childhood friends. While working, Pace had time to take pictures and inspect the armored vehicle depot. Alan provided detailed floor plans and camera locations. He gave out ski masks, pistols, a shotgun, and radio accessories. The day before the robbery, Pace was fired from the company. On Friday night, 6 people gathered at a house party. They decided to establish an alibi. Pace calculated how to avoid getting caught on a surveillance camera. The team was inside. They were waiting in the staff cafeteria. The robbers ambushed the guards when they were taking a break for lunch. Pace knew that the vault remained open on Fridays. A lot of money was being moved these days. The robbers managed to restrain all employees with the help of adhesive tape. They didn't have time to sound the alarm, and they didn't fire a single shot. In 30 minutes, the robbers loaded almost $19 million into a waiting U-Haul. Pace knew exactly which bags contained the highest denomination bills and inconsistent bills. He also knew where the recording devices for the surveillance cameras were and took them. The group then returned to the house party. The police took up the investigation. They immediately realized that the crime was committed by internal employees who know the system. The police examined Pace carefully because of his recent dismissal, but found nothing. Investigators at the depot found only plastic taillight lenses matching the U-Haul truck. The gang worked hard to hide their new wealth. They waited 6 months before trying to launder the stolen dollars. They enlisted the help of several people, paying them $1 million for their help. One assistant structured the transactions. He bought real estate and cars, invested in companies, wrote checks and U-2 tax forms to give the impression that they receive a salary. Pace also set up his own shell companies to launder more money. The second assistant laundered $177,000 through his father's company. Most or all of the robbers laundered cash through real estate. It's been 2 years since the robbery. One of the participants made a mistake. It was Hill. He gave his real estate friend a wad of money tied with original branded currency straps. This friend contacted the police. He turned out to be a law-abiding citizen of the United States. Then detectives noticed that Hill had rented a U-Haul on the day of the robbery. Hill soon confessed and named all the accomplices. On April 23, 2001, Alan Pace was arrested and sentenced to 24 years in prison. Another employee, Boyd, was sentenced to 17 years in prison for using a weapon and having a criminal record. The other 4 who pleaded guilty received sentences ranging from 8 to 10 years. 2 assistants were charged with 71 counts of money laundering, and they were sentenced to 2.5 years in prison. Only $5 million could be returned back. To date, the Dunbar armored robbery still stands as one of the largest cash heists ever committed in America. The next robbery was even more significant. According to the Guinness Book of World Records, this robbery is considered to be the most successful in terms of the amount of money stolen from a hotel. Criminals from Samuel Ali and Robert Comfort stole $27 million in 1972, which is estimated to be more than $155 million today. 6 associates assisted them in carrying out this crime at the Pierre Hotel. On January 2nd, at 3:50 a.m., the thieves arrived at the hotel. The strategic timing was perfect. Most of the hotel guests were fast asleep, and their valuables were kept in the hotel's safes. Since it was a holiday, the hotel had full-time staff. The group arrived at the entrance in a black limousine. They introduced themselves to the guard as Dr. Foster's group. After learning that the hotel doors were locked at midnight, Comfort reserved a room in the name of Dr. Foster. The guard called the reception desk, then opened the door and let the team inside. They entered and took aim at the guards. They also left one of their groups to guard the entrance. The thieves gathered the rest of the guards and the modest staff of the hotel. They handcuffed the hostages and held them for about 2.5 hours. The hostages were ordered to lie face down behind the reception desk. They were treated with respect. Robert Comfort continued to answer the phone at the front desk during the robbery. He sent one of the team members to bring a pillow to the guests. If a guest caused them any special trouble, he joined the hostages at the counter. They have accumulated quite a lot of hostages. Fortunately, the far-sighted thieves took 36 pairs of handcuffs with them in such a case. The team targeted the safes. In some safes, there were $500,000 in cash. In others, $3 million. Nevertheless, the biggest award of the evening was the Harry Winston diamond necklace. It belonged to a certain Baroness von Langendorf. Its value was $750,000. At 6:00 a.m., the thieves managed to break into many of the hotel's safes. They opened 208 hotel safes and fled with more than $20 million in cash, jewelry, and other goods. They left the hotel at 6:30 a.m., just before the arrival of the morning shift at 7 a.m. Comfort handed each hotel employee a $20 bill. He also threatened not to contact the police. Although one patrol car passed by the hotel during the robbery, it did not stop. Comfort and Nalo were arrested after Harry Winston's necklace was found in the possession of a Detroit mobster. He turned out to be an FBI informant. They were the only 2 members of the team who had ever been charged with robbing the Pierre Hotel. Each of them served only 19 months in prison for robbery, all thanks to the cooperation with the investigation. During this time, something went wrong with the distribution of the loot. One of the team members, hitman Donald Francos, vowed to avenge it. In 1981, he killed 2 other members of the team. Although an unknown attacker eventually shot Samuel Nalo in 1988, but presumably it wasn't Francos who pulled the trigger. Robert Comfort died of cancer in 1986. Today, the only surviving member of the team is Nick the Cat Sacco. He joined the Federal Witness Protection Program in 1974, but has since served his sentence for another offense. However, his involvement continues to be recorded in history. And finally, to top it all of, the robbery of the Iraqi Central Bank is considered the biggest and most daring heist in world history. This well-planned and executed robbery had a long-term impact on the Iraqi financial system. On March 18, 2003, at 4 a.m., 3 trucks left the Central Bank of Iraq. Their cargo amounted to almost $1 billion. This amounts to 1/4 of the country's foreign exchange reserves. The loot was taken by a group led by Qusay Hussein, the son of Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein. It was reported that after the crime, a note from Hussein appeared. It talked about withdrawing $920 million from the bank, then transfer them to your son. Qusay spent more than 5 hours loading a lot of money into the bank. Then the vehicles disappeared in an unknown direction. The forced withdrawal of funds was legal. Saddam Hussein was an absolute dictator. He had personal direct control over all aspects of the country's governance. The central bank and other economic institutions were among them. $1 billion may even have been Saddam Hussein's personal funds raised during his reign in Iraq. A U.S. Army Special Forces group near Iraq's border with Syria reported seeing trucks matching the description. They crossed the border to escape. The money could also be used to finance the flight of those close to the Iraqi dictator, including his family and personal friends. The U.S. invasion of Iraq quickly led to the fall of Saddam Hussein's regime. Uday and Qusay Hussein were killed in shootouts with American troops in July 2003. After all, Saddam was captured in December by American soldiers. Soon, the search for the missing money began. American agencies, including the FBI and the CIA, together with the armed forces, organized a large-scale, coordinated effort to find and recover the missing money. In the following days and weeks, the coalition forces managed to find approximately $650 million of the money. They found caches of money during searches and various patrols across the country. Despite the efforts of international agencies and the Iraqi government, a significant portion of the stolen money remains missing to this day. Some believe that the money was smuggled out of Iraq and hidden in secret bank accounts, real estate, and other assets around the world. The investigation is still ongoing, but it appears that it is impossible to recover the full amount. But a lot of people would actually really like to